tell you something more later. Why? Because first of all, when we had to assess the state of the art in this topic, but also build up a risk assessment framework. Which we will see it's very important for the new legislation because as a risk approach. We validated this approach with use cases. So the important thing I think of this project is that it's a research project, but we have always worked with the final user, meaning the public administration. Once we have defined the ethical principle, the risk framework, we have prioritized this ethical principle and risk category and weighted the risk category together with use case, because this risk category are more or less relevant from an ethical and legal point of view. And in parallel, we have on the one side developed the use cases, and we have applied the approach during the various stages of implementation of the use cases. At the same time, we have developed a governance platform, because when you carry out all these assessment, you really need to have also a governance platform, a platform that helps you to simplify the process. At the end, we will also work on a governance model and guidelines for the public sector, because it won't be, it is not so easy to implement this approach, and it will be easy either to implement the legislation. Something more, so this framework, this R&D framework is built on a code of conduct, which is the disruptive technology code of conduct, including focusing on 10 ethical principles. If you are go on our website, you can find this example of code of conduct, which is general but can be also adapted. And also we have a risk framework organized according to 8 risk categories, 34 risk. And if you have a look at the details, a very long list of risk indicators and mitigation indicators, because when you carry out this risk assessment and then you measure the level of risk, then you also have to carry out mitigation actions, and the approach also help you in this. In parallel, we have also defined a legal framework, because there are several legislation at the moment that needs to be taken into account. I have here this slide, and I will leave it to you just to present some details that you know can tell you what I'm considering. The TAPAS code of conduct is made up of 10 ethical principles. Example of ethical principles are environmental sustainability, justice, equality, and the rule of law, or safety and security. Of course, privacy, you know, everyone knows about privacy, but it's not only the ethical aspect to be taken into account, or retaining human contact, or continuous evaluation and improvement. The code of conduct is really a kind of, let's say, code for public administrations that want to, let's say, apply the develop and implement technology according to an ethical point of view. But then the risk framework help you in assessing the risk before implementing a technology. So before implementing a technology, meaning developing or simply implementing something that is already there, you know, or buying new technologies, you should be sure that to assess the risk and also carry out a mitigation action. So what you see is are risks that we have identified and also developed based on the current evolution of the legislation. the use cases that we have been working on are different. For example, the Ministry of Economy and Finance has been working on ethical approach to open data, or with the Institute of Technology and Don Carlo Gnocchi Foundation. We have been working on ethical, social, and legal challenges raised by human-machine interaction when a robot is used for the assessment of patient walking abilities. Or we have been also assessing the impact and the ethical technology of a chatbot in 80 municipality in Norway, which is with Sintef and an SME that has developed this chatbot. And finally, we have also implementing during the project, or our colleagues from CERT, they have designed and developed in Greece a solution addressing the deployment of AI for fake news detection. And they have applied our methodology to assess the risk of its implementation in various phases of the AI development. I want to say something concerning the use case carried out by the Italian Institute of Technology, because of course it is related to, it's the only one related to robotic. This was already in experimentation phase. So the Italian Institute of Technology was already working on this use case, and they are working on this experimentation on this R1 robot used for the assessment of patient walking abilities, assessing the various ethical, social, and legal challenges raised by human-machine interaction in terms of verbal and physical interaction, psychological relationship, and data management. This robot helps and monitors patient in performing this clinical test to evaluate patient balance and mobility. I must admit that the Fondazione Don Gnocchi and also Istituto Italiano di Tecnologia, of course, they already had their ethical guidelines, because in this kind of, let's say, type of experimentation, you already have your, you know better than me, of course, it's your work. But on top of their usual ethical approaches that they had to, or protocols that they had to follow, we they also test the additional principle more linked to ethical aspects, and also in line with the new legislation, anticipating a bit. So they, for example, they have launched a couple of additional questionnaire to assess the system usability scales, and the others is good speed questionnaire series to analyze additional dimensions that are anthropomorphism, animacy, likability, perceived intelligence, perceived interaction. They during the project, we have identified these additional indicators to be taken under control. Within the project, we have used in this specific use case, the ETAPAS approach to risk assessment has been, first of all, with them, we identified with them the principle more relevant for this use case, and these risks have been prioritized and weighted. And also the use case team has carried out an ex-ante during implementation and ex-post assessment questionnaire on the ETAPAS governance platform, because not only we developed the approach, but we also developed not us, the project, a governance platform that can help you in assessing these risks. The indicators are of different type. Some are more qualitative, and some you collect input from questionnaires, but some are more automatic, I would say. So the ones that are listed here, so the data sets versioning, or the event from navigation system, event from speech system, these are indicators that the platform that you know, the Etapath's platform directly automatically collect from the robot itself. So it's obvious that it will be easier as much as in the future, as much as these assessment are automatic, it will be easier, but you cannot really automatize everything. It depends on the approach. From the so now we are at the end of the project, more or less. So the approach has been tested. Is rather solid, and we have been you know, monitoring all these risks on these use cases through this governance platform. So the platform allow you to explore risk principle and indicators, but also you can see the recommended mitigation action if risks are highlighted, and also you can also assess results through time to assess improvement. Why I have you know, now I pass to the AI Act, trying to be rather short. We have tried to develop this. Now we are at the end of the project, and we started 36 months ago. So we are more or less aligned to the AI Act. So the results are more or less aligned. The European Commission towards this legislation has been long, because they started in 2018 with a communication on artificial intelligence for Europe. That's why I think they also founded in 2021 our project, which was the only one more or less focusing on the public sector on this topic. So they have launched several documents, ethical guidelines for trustworthy AI. They set up this high-level working group on artificial intelligence. They have then approved this assessment. This group, also made up of the best people in Europe on AI, launched this assessment list for trustworthy artificial intelligence called ATAI, which is a self-assessment tool. Meaning our project go beyond, because we have worked on a risk assessment framework, but still it's important to apply the RTI, which is only the self-assessment part. They don't have the mitigation action part. The proposal was launched last year, and it will be probably approved by the end of 2023, beginning of 2024. So this legislation will be up and running. This regulatory framework follows a risk-based approach. So more or less what I said, you know, it's very risk-based. There are the type of solutions that there are some solutions that will have minimal or no risk. In this kind of solution will be or a solution will be permitted with no restrictions, but they suggest, the legislation suggests, to have some code of conduct, so some principle to follow. And if you want to see an example of code of conduct, we have one on our website. There is a level of risk for transparency obligations. For example, the chatbots fall within this level. Are permitted subject to information transparency obligation. There are high risk applications, for example, credit scoring, recruiting, are permitted subject to compliance with the requirements and ex-ante conformity assessment. And there are some applications who are considered unacceptable risk, such as social scoring and biometric identification, that are not, let's say, acceptable. To the AI Act is subject to any AI provider, user, importer, or distributor whose services or product reach the EU market. So the provider is any natural or legal person, public authority, or other body that develops an AI system or has an AI system developed. So it's very, very wide. And also the user is any natural or legal person using an AI system under its authority, and also place the system in the market. Unacceptable risk. There are the AI application prohibited are the ones deploying subliminal techniques to distort a person behavior that may cause physical or mental harm. For example, the one evaluating also person based on their social behavior. Everything related to social scoring is prohibited will be prohibited in Europe. Exploiting vulnerabilities of specific groups of persons to distort a person's behavior that may cause harm. And for example, real-time remote biometric identification for facial recognition in public available spaces for law enforcement purposes. This was something that, was really stressed in the parliament. High risk. The application related to high risk are AI systems used as safety components of product that are normally subject to third-party ex-ante conformity assessment. So they followed similar legislation. There is a list. There is all the new legislative framework legislation, such as the medical device regulation, in vitro diagnostic regulation, other specific legislation. There is a list in the annex to the legislation, but also AI system posing fundamental right risk, because the biometric identification, it's only admitted after judicial authorization or management and operation of critical and digital infrastructure, education, employment, workers management, and access to self-employment, but also everything related to crime prediction, court course, migration, asylum, border control management. As you see, that we have been working on it concerning the public sector, because several of these are also related to public services. There are for high risk AI application, there will be mandatory requirements. So they need to establish and implement risk management processes. The approach that we developed during the project, of course, it's not the only one. We have simply started to work on it and to experiment one approach. Use AI quality training, validation, and testing data, because this aspect of data quality is very important. Establish documentation and design logging features, record keeping, ensure appropriate certain degree of transparency, and provide user with information, as well as ensure human oversight. So this is also very important. Ensure robustness, accuracy, and cybersecurity. And they need to, this high risk AI application will need to go through a conformity assessment procedure. And the high risk application will have also to be registered with the European registry. I voted to include the slide related to this process because, of course, it's boring, but still not in place. In several countries, I've identified the data protection authority as the one that will be in charge of this kind of assessment. But it's another aspect is also that the conformity shall be ensured also by adherence to the relevant European standard once defined. And in fact, the issue is that this once defined, because we all know that to define standards take times. But potential penalties for non-compliance are important, because will be from 1 to 6% of annual worldwide turnover, calculated based on the infringement. While for the law of risk for transparency requirement, there will be some obligation for the low risk application. Transparency obligation apply for systems that interact directly with humans, generate or manipulate content, for example, deepfake, and are used to detect emotions or determine association with categories based on biometric data. And apply to all applications that meet these criteria, even if they are of different risk levels. So these transparency, let's say, requirements will be also very important to comply with. I'm more or less finished. These are the main, let's say, aspects. So the new AI regulation is based on this risk-based approach. There will be different type of level of risk, and it will be important to be aligned, to be informed about, to be aware of this legislation to comply with. Concerning the public sector, what we have done is to develop these approaches in line with the legislation and to test them with use cases also from related project and also additional European public administration. What we understood is that many that working with them realized that they need training, methodology, and tools to ensure ethical and legal compliance, not only applying to AI, but also to other technologies. We need to develop specific risk management process, governance structure and procedures, ensuring transparency and accountability, robustness, accuracy, and cybersecurity. These are all aspects that we have tried to include in our approach, because it's in line with this approach of the AI regulation, but there is a huge need for enhancing public sector workforce skills in implementing AI and ensuring compliance, both in the IT department of the public sector, because all the people involved in our project from the consortium partners, they were all IT people from IT department of the public sector, and most of them, they were not aware of artificial intelligence. They were dealing with other, traditional, I would say, IT system. And also they need a lot of guidance in the form of methodology, tools, assets, services, and best practices. And I would need in this area, there will be still a lot of research to be carried out and testing. So that's all from my side. We are in the exploitation phase. So if you would like to have also a more focused presentation on these approaches, I'm sure that my colleague Sarah has been working on this over the last 26 months. And also I think the colleagues that implemented the use cases would be happy.
Okay, thank you very much, Joanna. I hope you will send us the presentation so that we can share it within the project and in the alliance. And next item is the presentation of an overview of the alliance, since we have also many more people online now. Yes. Sorry, maybe I forgot. Are there questions for Joanna?
I think it was anyway extremely interesting anyway to cut out that exploration of the AI item, especially your the analysis you made about for the public sectors. There'll probably be some lessons to take for AI for robotics. Notice that
I think for AI for robotics for sure. But also maybe also the chatbot, because the chatbot we also dealt a lot with the manufacturing, with also we tested. Well, these approaches we have developed during etapas, but for example, we have also tried to use these lessons learned for another project we have been working with Christoph, which is this DIH for AI, where the DIH is involved are more focused on the manufacturing sector. I think it's not so. This issue of awareness creation about this topic is, I think, very, very important and relevant for all the sectors. It's not really, it's because we have started to work with the public sector, but how to make this AI Act and AI legislation, how to implement this legislation won't be easy. We have been speaking about the Digital Innovation Hub. We are also part of a European Digital Innovation Hub. This European Digital Innovation Hub, as well as the Digital Innovation Hub, could be, you know, a kind of arm, I would say, to support the implementation of the legislation, because it's are something in between the research and implementation. So could be, let's say, something. Another aspect that I think that for this audience, I think you are most all technical, so this topic that are less technical probably are less interesting. But I think in the next research project, probably someone that focus on in this area is needed, because maybe when you test some new solutions, you know, and there is AI inside, you will need to, you know, to make an AI assessment, risk assessment during all the life cycle, the solution life cycle development. And of course, we had in these 4 use cases, a couple were more advanced, because but the robotics example was in its experimentation phase. The colleagues from the municipality of Caterini, they developed, they designed and developed the solution. So trying to anticipate a bit the legislation. So I think it's something will have an impact in several domains.
Yeah, thank you. No, I think it's interesting to share your experience in also in our activities in RIMA. So far, we didn't investigate these aspects about ethics so much, more focusing on cybersecurity and raising awareness about issues about related to cybersecurity or certification regulation. But now I think it's an important work that you've been doing. And
of course, there are some areas that will have a major impact than others, for sure. So there will be some areas that will have less impact will be less impacted from the regulation. But the regulation is rather high, and so, you know, okay, there are not acceptable, there is high risk, there is medium risk, but also they say, let's say in any case, also for the very low risk, also let's build up some code of conduct, have a look at the development of technologies according to an ethical adoption.
Okay, so a lot of information to digest, and thank you for this illustration. First glance at the AI. Now we have to dig into that. There is actually a lot of interest in the robotics community for these ethical issues, and now it's also a matter of taking the time to make this investigation that you did. Thank you very much again.
Okay.
So now we'll make some recap, some presentation of the Alliance, and for those who were there in this public session, how to join and what can the Alliance bring to the members. So I would do that, start the presentation with
Yes, with Ava.
All right. So 2 speakers for the same set of slides. I will first present the alliance, make a recap of the alliance and the interest to become member of the alliance and the conditions. And then Ebert von Wonderen will make this description on the process to join the alliance. But first, before starting, I'd like to also make this announcing that an important milestone was passed last week, since we now have managed to transfer this community tool that we have organized and developed in the context of the RIMA project from the Sprint Robotics Association to eRobotics. So this is there are still some elements to consolidate, but it's a really important achievement for us, which materialized the fact that we are connected to eRobotics. So Niels Winstendorp told you before the connection that we have with the Sprint Robotics Association, and eRobotics is really important to us to make this connection with the robotics community in Europe, and be one kind of expression of what can be made to support innovation in the domain of inspection and maintenance of inspection and maintenance of infrastructure in the different domains that we are covering. So that's a very big achievement for us anyway. And then concerning the alliance now, which will use feed this community tool with which contains all the technologies provided and technologies for inspection and maintenance robotics, the offer from the different networks of digital innovation hubs. So this information contained in the community tool, now under the eRobotics umbrella, will be also fed by the Alliance and will be used by the Alliance, of course, and the community. So the Alliance, again, is it's an entity. It's intended to ensure the sustainability of the activities of the RIMA network projects. RIMA Networks is closing now, and you can see on these slides that we are covering quite a large set of sectors of applications, including production of and distribution of energy, transport, including rail, roads, fluvial, and sea transport, water supply and sanitation, and communication, with different type of robotics, including manipulators. So it's a vast variety of technologies, flying drones, crawlers, exoskeletons sometimes, and with also a huge set of technologies from mechatronics, control, artificial intelligence, digital twin, human-machine interaction, big data, non-destructive testing, and so on. So it's a vast set of technologies, variety of the robotics, and some specificities for inspection and maintenance, which makes it different from the sectors of manufacturing or healthcare or agriculture and agro-technologies, because of the constraints of the tasks in inspection and maintenance. And constraints like time, costs, regulations, safety, security for operators. So it's a quite specific and different from what we found in robotics for manufacturing or robotics for healthcare and agriculture. So this is the reason also why we wanted to have to maintain this alliance in with the RIMA partners to maintain these capacities to dialogue with each other, to have this dialogue space based also on the community tool, this web portal I've been talking about before. And in a way, in the inspection and maintenance robotics, there is a kind of, even if we're working in different domains in nuclear, water supply, or anything, we're in a way speaking a little bit the same language because of the constraints that I was talking about. So the members of the alliance, as we see it, should be DIHs, of course, represented by RTOs or universities, professional associations, and in general facilitators, that is organizations that can help to identify funding sources to stimulate this innovation and connection with SMEs, with industry. In general, anyway, it's all organizations that have some interest in an expertise background in inspection and maintenance robotics and through the technologies or what can stimulate or facilitate this development, innovation in robotics for this type of applications. We have in the Alliance two main bodies, which is first the RIMA Alliance General Assembly, which will be held twice a year, and which is the ultimate decision-making body of the RIMA Alliance. The second one being the board, which has just been elected now, and I'm very pleased to say again that our president is Axel Sintef from Axel Transet from Sintef. Our vice chair is Thomas Vögele from DFKI, and our secretary is Ebert von Vonderen from TUC in Košice. So the board is elected now for 2 years, and we are entering another phase of our history. The alliance is a very light structure, and it's a structure that it is not a legal structure, so very simple to manage. Here you see just a recap of the role of the chair, vice chair, and anyway, I'll go browse quickly through these slides that I will share with the audience anyway. We have no treasurer at the moment because we don't manage budget monies. All the effort and investments of the members in the alliance is resources, time from the personnel. It might be that we ask for fees in the future, but right now to trigger, we start for free, and we'll see how it comes. And if what comes with the future. The benefits for joining the alliance, so it's a vast list of benefits, as you may see there. And again, I don't want to go one by one, and I'll share that with you so that you can study that attentively. The RIMA Alliance and the other entities on here, we have been talking about Sprint with Niels Westendorp. Eurobotics is also an organization which is very important to our eyes, and ADRA as well, BDVA, Sprint. So it's the ecosystem where we are involved right now with some other associations that I didn't mention there. But anyway, the alliance in a way can be, it's a space which can serve the different associations like Robotics, ADRA via the topic groups and help to identify challenges, help to organize communication activities, workshops, events, provide some information about the offer, the state of the art to help supporting elaboration of roadmaps and strategic research agenda related to inspection and maintenance robotics. So with a focus on innovation and research. Now I will let Ebert explaining how we can join the alliance.
Yes, joining the alliance. I just have a couple of slides. You can sit, Christian.
Yeah, but you will switch to slide?
Yeah, but there are only a few slides. As Christophe already mentioned, the network is now moving to an alliance, and also the website, etc., make some move and also some changes. So the process will be in the future supported by the website itself, but now we have a bit different practical approach just to enable on the short term also all kinds of organizations to benefit from the alliance that they can join. Now that's what I now try to explain is who can join different companies and organizations. Of course, we make here in this slide just the difference between digital innovation hubs and the other organizations, because I want to explain that there is in this starting up your application effectively over there is the difference. So Christophe, maybe the next slide. The process, yeah, it's a simple process, and for those who want to apply, the first step is the important process. We would like to know about the organization to join the alliance. What is we would like to know something about the organization, and for other organizations, the other types, this except of the digital innovation hubs, we do not need too much information. So it's a lean process. It's about activities, inspection and maintenance you have, and digital innovations hub we would like to know a bit more. Yeah, Christophe, next slide.
Next slide.
Yeah, okay. So this applying what I said is the most important step for those who would like to join, and we will work with a questionnaire and with 3 topics for other organizations to reply on. And for digital innovation hubs, we would like to know a bit more about the 6 topics. So that's including also what kind of resources the hub has, or ecosystem, or digital innovation hub services. Yes, next slide. Which one we have? Okay, so this one is we already had, and so just to join the alliance, simply send us at the moment a mail to us. This can be done to one of the to
the mail to.
yeah.
Yeah, and we need to
specify. It's very simple. The organization will know somebody from the RIMA network at the moment. They are in contact, for example, with Christophe or with other partners of the consortium, you can send a mail to them, and from there will be a lead to us as central, and we will approach you with a questionnaire. Then that's it. That's simple.
Okay, so simpler for the moment. Yes, you can send a mail to one of us in the one, and then we will relay that. Otherwise, to Ebert, and maybe we'll update with the address of.
He's the secretary.
Yeah, exactly. So. Okay, well now the slides were made before the election, so this that's the reason of the gap, maybe. Okay, so well, if there are some questions from the audience, otherwise,
Well, let's wait. Any questions? Yes, after that.
yeah.
You have it?
No,
Yes. So unfortunately, Axel is traveling.
The introduction. The inspection and maintenance market is huge, and robotics is already playing an important role there, and the potential for scaling up that role and for contributing a lot more with robotics, including drones, underwater, in the air, on land, is vast. European players are already making a stand and getting a foothold in this market and taking the technology in use. But the potential is so much bigger. And to ramp up activities further, we really want to contribute by looking into the synergies of different organizations working towards research, development, and commercial deployment of inspection and maintenance robotics. On the one hand, we have EU Robotics with the topic group on inspection and maintenance. ADRA, the AI Data and Robotics Association, has recently started an inspection and maintenance topic group. The RIMA Alliance is focusing particularly on this topic, and worldwide we have the Sprint Robotics Collaborative, who pushes deployments on inspection and maintenance robotics. So we want to look into synergies and how to combine these efforts in order to really contribute to bringing European players even more into the inspection and maintenance robotics market, both on the research side, on the commercial supplier side, services, technologies, and last but not least, taking the technology into use by European commercial and public sector organizations. We, in these initiatives, such as the RIMA Alliance and the topic groups, we want to identify and continue to identify market opportunities and use cases and create a common understanding of where are both the low-hanging fruits in terms of deployments of inspection and maintenance robotics, but where are also the research challenges, and what kind of education and training do we need in order to really bring up the full potential of such robotics. A challenge in one region in Europe is very often a similar challenge in other regions. So we want to look at the synergies between these and collaborate between these organizations that we mentioned. I think I really believe that in order, by combining these efforts, we can, as European players, really contribute to developing and taking into use AI, data, and robotic technologies in inspection and maintenance, supporting the Green Deal, increasing resilience of our society through ensuring uptime of critical infrastructure within energy, transportation, water, waste, healthcare, and well, having a fruitful and very good both research and commercial and public sector activities on these topics. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Axel. He will not hear me. He's traveling now to Naples,
Yeah, but if you have
but
some
it's a very, very long travel.
if you have some questions that
If we have some questions, we can
can
make them
record.
tomorrow.
okay.
Anyway, if there are questions from the audience, maybe we can answer.
Maybe. Okay, if no question, so these were the words from our new president, our new chair in the alliance. I forgot also to thank very much the Eurobotics team for this effort they've been doing regarding the transfer of competence from this web portal from Sprint to Eurobotics. Was a big effort that took us some time, and but it arrives right on time for us anyway. And again, if you want to join the alliance, it's a space where you can we will investigate opportunities, funding opportunities, also to participate to some initiative in research and innovation to support inspection and maintenance robotics. Funding opportunities means also the cooperative projects, and yeah, so if you want to have some to share some knowledge, to share experience, to about inspection and maintenance robotics, it's really the place to be. And then one of our in our next general assembly will certainly be having some specific investigations about some particular teams. For instance, I've already been asked to if we could organize something about inspection of robotics in or pipes in water supply and sanitation. So could be something where you can get some information on what is existing in these technologies. And if you have some suggestion for something you would like to investigate, also just let us know. And again, for me, it's okay.
Yes. Last item, especially for us who are physically present here, Giancarlo, maybe he can show the items that are in the bag. You have found a bag for each of you, with items from RIMA. Giancarlo will show them what it is about, and he will also explain the program for this evening.
For your laptops, for books, everything. You already know this one. This is a global route. Just not agenda. Not agenda, just white sheet, but is useful to sign, to make
it for years.
Yeah. This is from another project. Maybe you can, after you can explain. This is a useful pen with logo RIMA. Also this one, key rings, come si dice carrello della spesa?
shopping.
Yeah, and this is useful. Instead of the coin, you can put this one, RIMA, as a value for your shop. And at the end, this one, the pin to know
So
that everyone
that's already now.
is from RIMA project. If you need or if you want to take some bags for your colleagues that are not here, you can tell me. Maybe we have 24 this morning, so you can take for other. But if you need more, you can tell me after, and tomorrow I'll bring more bags. Okay, and for online. Yes, also for online, if someone want to ask for bags, if someone has no colleagues, no friends here, you can write me and I'll send you some.
Find a way to get it.
Yeah, we will find a way to send you the bags. Any question?
Of course, the idea is to use the items and to demonstrate them, so to disseminate the importance of RIMA, of the project, and of the alliance. Now about the Naples Underground tour.
We can do something at 6:30. I will wait for you just at
6:45.
6:45. Okay.
So that people have time to go get to their hotel, leave the bags, and change maybe a bit.
I will wait you at 6:45 outside, and we will go together.
Outside this building.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
building.
this building.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not far. We go walking.
In 10 minutes we are there, and then the restaurant is close to the Napoli Sotterranea. So
It will take about 1 hour and a half.
yeah,
More or
more or less. 1 hour and a half. Yes. 1 hour.
Don't forget the pins. Don't forget the pins.
Everybody
In
will.
case-
Yeah.
In case you get lost, we can find you.
Yes, we have now in the town building, then restaurant. No, it's okay, we go. Yes, but it's not very good.
If you are scared of small spaces, then
Yeah, it's.
If you are claustrophobic.
You can pass in spaces like this, but it's for you, it's not, if you don't want, there are big passages, so. no problem.
Exactly is the entrance.
In Salita Sant'Anna dei Palazzi. If you want, I can give you the address.
No, there are several places to do Naples Underground, but this is one entrance where
Yeah.
we specifically go.
Is the entrance of Napoli Sotterranea by LAES Association.
But
Is one of the associations that have some entrance of Napoli Sotterranea.
since it's nearby this place, the most easy way to collect all people is in front of this building at 6:45. Yes,
Yes.
okay.
Christophe, chi se n'è andato? Che stava qua. Ok. No, c'era una persona qua. Where here?
He was, he needed to go to his hotel. And
Okay, I can write that we are waiting
Yeah,
for
yeah.
him at quarter.
You can, I think he's in the WhatsApp.
Yes.
Yeah. I added him yesterday, so I can write and say that I wait for him. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Also online attendance, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Juan.
Tomorrow we will
Thank
start at
you.
9 o'clock, so
And enjoy the city.
9:30.
Okay, first presentation tomorrow, 9:30. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks, bye.